Look, the plays in this league are so close. The athletes are spectacular. There's just so many plays. They're just a fraction of an inch or a split second. And those are the athletes we're dealing with. So I think the officials really overall do a great job of making those judgments. They have a fraction of a second to make it. And, you know, we can see the plays 10 times, and sometimes it's still hard to tell. So I give them a lot of credit for what they do, and I know they're trying to do a good job, and so are we. It's a special week. It's a special moment. It's a special game. And it's a great privilege to be in this game. It's a great privilege to compete in it. It's extra special. I knew Sean's grandfather, John, well, and had, you know, kind of the Ohio connection, my dad, and other things from that area, and other people that coached with him. So, you know, knowing Sean, getting to know Sean, kind of, you know, through the legacy of his family and so forth. I mean, I have a ton of respect for growing up in a football family and you know, choosing the profession that he has chosen and doing it so well. He's very impressive. Very impressive job that he's done in multiple organizations, certainly with the Rams as the head coach in the last 2 years, and, you know, leading his team to the Super Bowl this year. I mean, you can't say enough about the job that he and his staff have done. So I have a tremendous respect for him, and, you know, I'd say, again, his family is, you know, it's a great football family. They're a well-balanced team. They have great players, great defensive players, led by Donald, and, you know, obviously they're well-coached. Goff, Gurley, good offensive line, good skill players, Cooks. Hecker is, you know, is really a weapon. I would say one of the most dangerous players in the kicking game in the entire in the National Football League. Obviously a kicker, their line kicked 57-yard field goal to beat the Saints. So they have great players. They're well coached. They're tough. They win a lot of close games because they know how to play good situational football. I mean, they're good at everything. Julian's had a great year for us. He's a tough competitor. He's very physically and mentally tough, right? I would put him up at the top of the guys that we've had here in that category. He plays, usually plays his best football in big games when you need it the most. So, you know, we're very fortunate to have him in all the different roles that he does for us. His receiving, his blocking, his plays in the punt return game. And, you know, he does a lot of unselfish things for our football team. Gives us a lot of toughness and big plays in critical situations. I mean, I love Charles Barkley. That guy is one of the most impressive people that I've ever met. You know, to lead a league in rebounding at 6'4", to me is just incredible. And, you know, his toughness, his playing, not just skill, but I would say awareness and instinctiveness. And he does a great job. I love to listen to his analysis. So I've learned a lot from him. Charles has been a great friend, and conversations that we've had through the years have always been very enlightening to me. He knows how to compete. He knows how to win. He just knows how to play, whatever the sport is. So I love Charles Barkley. Tight end. He's tough. He would block. I know he would catch the ball, and they wouldn't be able to cover him because he'd just body him up and get open. But you put him on defense, too, though. He'd tackle. I don't have any doubt. I mean, I hate to see guys like that get wasted in basketball because they'd be really good football players. Well, I worked with Bill for, you know, a long time. And we worked together as assistants. And then, you know, I worked for him as a head coach, you know, in 3 different organizations, the Giants, the Patriots, and another organization. So I learned a ton from Bill. Bill was very helpful to me in the development of my career and giving me insight into areas that as an assistant coach you don't really get to see or know as much about, and he was very helpful in doing that. Obviously, Bill was a great defensive coach. He taught me his 3-4 defense that we used at the Giants, which fundamentally has always been, even though we've used different variations of it, the fundamentals of it have been pretty consistent through the years. And Bill's been a great friend. He was a great mentor, and I'm proud to have coached for him, and I've learned a lot from him. you already got the sleeves cut off. You got it, man.
You don't want him to sign it this year? No, that's for him. I made it for him. So he can always remember me. Okay. Guillermo. We can't forget you, Guillermo.
No, I never will. I'm going to wear that someday, too. I promise you. Yeah. I'm going to wear that someday. And then you can put it on. I'll send you a picture of it on Snapface. You can put it out there. So it'll be great. You got it. Thank you. Well, Sousa, he's a great player. We competed against him in Miami for a number of years, as well as Detroit prior to that. He's big, strong, fast, and very smart. He's a guy that's hard to fool on screens and draws and misdirection plays and things like that. He reads them very quickly. But he's also a very physical player that can rush the passer, stop the run, and he runs well. He pursues well. He's had some very, very good plays against us in pursuit on screens and things like that. And you just got to finish your blocks on him. He's not out of any plays. Very talented player. I've said this before, but I think being a special teams coach is the best training I ever had to begin a head coach. Certainly being a coordinator is a great experience, but when you're the special teams coach, you work with every player on the team, probably with the exception of the quarterbacks. And there are definitely a lot of differences between working with different groups, the athletes, the mentality, just kind of how they see things and what you ask them to do. But as a special teams coach, you're literally working with every single guy in some aspect or another, and those relationships and understanding how to deal with different positions and different types of players, and again, all players at different levels, young players, developing players, older players whose primary role was the kicking game, players whose secondary role was the kicking game. When you put all that together, those are tremendous experiences, and I'll always be grateful for the opportunities that I was given to do that by Coach Marchabroda, by Coach Verzano, but especially by Coach Perkins at the New York Giants. Ray Perkins gave me an opportunity to do that with the Giants, and that was a tremendous, tremendous learning experience. In addition, you learn all of the situational aspects of football that, as an offensive or defensive coach, there are just so many in the kicking game. Not that there aren't a lot of offense and defense there are, but as an offensive or defensive coach, you kind of learn those and you see the other side of it. The kicking game's different, and that when you incorporate that in, it helps your training as a head coach because now you're involved in all three. Look, I think it's just about being honest. I don't think you tell somebody they did a good job when they didn't do a good job. I think if they do a good job, you tell them they did a good job. If they didn't do a good job, I think you tell them, here's what you need to do better. I don't believe in lying to a player. I don't believe in giving him false praise. And I don't believe in giving him undue criticism. But I believe in being honest. So whatever that is, it is. My standards or values might be different than yours or the next person's. I don't know about that. But all I can do is be honest with the player. And that's what I try to do. I just try to be honest with them. I'm not going to tell them it's good if I don't think it was good. That's a good one, Nando. I love it.